As the dust settled and the "I Survived 2016" t-shirts sold out, I realised that the populist explosion was far bigger than Donald Trump and Nigel Farage. They were just the English-speaking insurrectionists of a reactionary revolution that had already swept across Europe. Starting in 2015, populist parties racked up double-digit gains throughout the continent, came in close seconds in France and Austria, and won power in Poland and Italy. Something had rocked the Western world all at once. It had transcended language barriers, political peculiarities, and currency unions. But what was it? Some blamed the economic collapse in 2008, but the financial crisis was nearly a decade old.
It seemed to me that there must be a more immediate reason why voters from Rome to Raleigh to Rzeszów pushed the button marked "Detonate."
For me, the problem is the thousands of illegal immigrants stealing, raping, and dealing drugs, said Matteo Salvini, the leader of Italy's Northern League, at a rally in Rome. It was 2015, in the midst of the global refugee crisis that saw over 1 million migrants come to Europe. Right-wing populists declared it an invasion of barbaric, Muslim, rapist hordes of men, AfD, Germany, young barbarians, Golden Dawn, Greece, criminals, terrorists, and idlers, National Alliance, Latvia, and masses of young men in their 20s with beards singing Allah Akbar, Party of Freedom, Holland. On the campaign trail, Trump promised to extend his wall with Mexico to the Middle East with a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States. The Vote Leave campaign distributed leaflets showing Iraq, Syria, and Turkey joining the EU,
with a threatening arrow indicating their impending migrant invasion of Britain.
In case the message wasn't clear enough, Nigel Farage personally launched a poster campaign depicting thousands of brown-skinned people with the all-caps warning, "Breaking point." The barbarians were no longer at the gates. They had broken through. "Give us back France, damn it!" Marine Le Pen demanded. "We drink wine whenever we want." I'm sitting in the heart of this barbarian invasion.
Nearly half of the refugees who travelled to Europe since 2015 have passed through the Moria camp
and slept in tents, just like the one I'm in now. These Iraqi teenagers are the rapist hordes incarnate, the monsters of the populist imagination. But they aren't singing Allah Akbar. They don't have beards. They have hip, undercut haircuts. They're smoking, drinking wine, and bragging about their secret girlfriends. What could be more French than that, I wonder? Scenes like this didn't make it into the feed. Instead, images of migrants, packed in boats, dead on beaches, camped in tent cities, dominated. The accompanying headlines framed migrants as a security threat, lending false credibility to the populists' alleged invasion. It is why the right-wing firebrands, many of whom had decades-long careers at the margins of politics, were suddenly propelled towards power. Their xenophobic message finally resonated with just enough voters to shake the foundations of the Western liberal order. I step outside. I walk through the jungle, the hastily constructed overflow camp housing 6,000 refugees. I walk up a hill that was once an olive grove. UN-branded tents are scattered haphazardly among piles of plastic bottles, torn clothes, and used nappies. Kids leap over the garbage and hide behind tents, firing bows and arrows made from olive tree branches. 3 women have cleared out a space between piles of garbage to light a makeshift fire to boil rice. A man leans over a bucket of water as another shaves off his hair. They say there's a scalp fungus going round. Behind them, I see the main camp they would be in if it wasn't already over capacity. Built to house 3,000, it is a fortress of watchtowers and barbed wire fences. Greek soldiers patrol the perimeter. This camp may well be what the populists fear, but it's also a mirror image of themselves. It's a kind of authoritarian disorder, a militarized messiness. Trump has deployed the army at the US-Mexico border, but the migration crisis has surged. Johnson wants to take back control from the EU, but he's losing his grip on Northern Ireland and Scotland, on secure food and medical supplies. Salvini closed down refugee camps in Italy only to create an epidemic of homelessness as migrants were forced onto the streets. Their attempts to impose order created a new kind of chaos. Perhaps this is because they never dealt with the cause of the migrant crisis, the very crisis that had propelled them to power. Indeed, why did the number of refugees surge so suddenly in 2015 and 2016 after 2 decades of declining?